All right. Look at that. We right on time. We got started. Had everything go through. The intro played, and look at that. You're not choppy. That is fantastic. You do not look like me trying to steal 1987 Cinemax. This is awesome. Look at you. All right. So let's see. Let me go ahead and.
For all you younger folks, that was a movie reference.
Anyway, you're a movie reference. I'm trying to.
For all you younger folks.
There we go. Mute it. There it is. So now we're gonna watch over here to see comments. Swipe up. Real comments. Hey, Top, how you doing, buddy? See, look, I can actually see the comments now and everything. This is fantastic. Top's on. All right. As always, we're gonna give it a little bit to get started. Things have been good. You can see even without monetization. There it is. Even
Good
without
job,
monetization, Toucan was still able to get himself a new mic and bring himself inside the house and have actual Wi-Fi connectivity.
Patty let me inside.
Look at that. Look at that.
There we go.
You don't have to sleep on the porch.
Well, hold on.
Mr. Chesley, welcome, sir. Top. I did not miss. I didn't miss your comment. I just chose not to acknowledge it. No. Orlando's on too. Rather's Rage. Good to see you, brother. What do you got? I'm good, man. I'm living a dream. Truly living a dream. How's everybody doing today? What do you you going to get it cut? You're gonna get it dyed? What are we doing?
Poof. Nah, I am actually gonna get the sides. Keep the middle the same height. Let it keep growing, and I'm gonna work on the side. But I just got like little poof things, so I'm like, I want it all poof. But
Orlando, I'll check to see the text. You text direct. You text the shop number. Just let me know. I wish I could have known you came up. Huh? Oh, who? When? Oh. Top one said, I wish you knew I came up when I went to. I didn't go that far up. I only went up to Black Tiger, which I want to talk about. Can we spend a second talking about that since it was something that it was a local event. Yeah. Something that occurred. I went to Black Tiger's day and night game. And first of all, phenomenal day. Just another day to remind me how old I really am. Should not have run the way I did. But I gave it a shot anyway. Mo, Big Mo, how you doing, baby?
oh,
And Jesse, look at that. If he was here in front of me right now, I might punch him in his beard. Standing right there. And Mr. Chesley. So the event was great. Had a wonderful time. People, players, everything was fantastic. Always love to get up there, see Danny and everybody, the whole staff. Treated us incredibly well.
shout out to Danny.
And I avoided the rain because I'm old and smart. I did not play in the rain. I slept in the truck during the rain because I was also sleeping off the minor myocardial infarction that I feel I had. I was dying. I almost passed out once. Like it was so bad, so bad. But we did actually get something. We did have something happen that is a reminder. And I would like to remind everybody, please listen, look, just because I recommend something doesn't make it mandatory. It just means that in the past 9 years of me playing and meeting people that have been playing even longer than me, these recommendations mean something. So when I say it's a recommendation to wear gloves when you play airsoft, wear gloves when you play airsoft. I spent, about 25 minutes, give or take?
Easily
25 minutes. Removing a BB from one of my teammates' thumbs, literally right here. He got hit this way, went up. I had to tourniquet his thumb to actually make it numb, so he didn't feel me cutting into his skin to actually pull the BB out. So, don't. I would rather have not have you guys have that happen, and that can be avoided with gloves. Same thing can happen in the face, and that can be avoided with a mask. Um, yeah, it's crazy, right? The idea just really just insane. Cover the vitals, and um, but it was a great time. Really, it was a fantastic time. A lot of fun, a lot of good games. The night stuff, I got to tell you, Alex Fallon, Echo Force, Skywalker. I got to play with them. I'm always invited to play with them, so it's awesome. The relationship that we have, started sponsoring them a long time ago, and they've treated me incredibly well. Skywalker did. He had the fireworks going. We did. We did a game where the end of the game, the ferret had to be blown up, and there was the simulated airdrop, like a really really awesome game. Um, and It was they did a fantastic job putting it all together. Truly fantastic job putting it all together. If you guys, if you're looking for something like that, not to not talk about our field, I love our field. I love our games. I love our field. I love our community. Absolutely. If you can't make it to us, if it's on a weekend when we're not having a game, things like that. Um, if you're looking for, if you're looking for some of the city gameplay stuff like that, definitely go there. Go to Black Tiger. Excuse me. Go to Black Tiger, and get out there. Get with Danny. Get with the guys for sure. I'm not kicking you off our field. I want everybody and then some to come on down to us. Go play there, then come down and play with us for sure. You know, but I had a great time. I love when I get the opportunity to play with my team, play with my son, which was great. Dom was down, so yeah. All in all, wonderful time. Great time at Black Tiger, and again, thanks to Danny and the whole staff up there. Fantastic time. Got to see Miss Lori Watson, LoriWatsonCreation.com. Go on there, go get all your slings, your tourniquets, and all that as well. She's a wonderful woman, makes fantastic product. Yeah, Christian, that's where you fill in color and not blowing the cat's butthole. So, all right. Very good. No, nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear a thing you're saying right now. Absolutely not. No, seriously, I'm not kidding. Nobody can hear you. You have no audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can.
Well, this mic was fun. I was talking the whole time.
Nobody heard a word you said.
Shout out to Gasket for being the victim of that unfortunate injury. Better him than anybody else. He's tough enough to take it. Shout out to Danny McKnight for collaborating with Echo 4 and having a wonderful day-night game. It was awesome. If anybody has footage of me using the Browning 30 cal, I'd appreciate you posting it. But anyways, it was good. It was great. And I think
getting to see the 1919 field, it was actually really cool too. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah,
it was so good.
He got it out there. He got to play with it. Yeah, it was awesome.
And to kind of swoop in on Gasset getting hurt, BTA came in at the end when it was needed with the med pack, with the medical kit, sanitized his thumb, bandaged him up. Actually, it was Danny himself who did it. Again, couldn't ask for better friends or better peers in the community. Shout out.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I guess I don't. Do they have? Does BTA have a website?
Oh yeah.
Do they? I mean, if we're going to shout them out, we might as well. Oh yeah, blacktigerairsoft.com. I mean, might as if we're going to shout them out, it might as well
do it the right way.
Do it the right way, right?
Yeah.
Here you go, guys. Again, if people think it's silly when we're talking about another field, like a competing field. It's not competition. It all it does is expand the community. So get up there or come down here or wherever. Go wherever. Just get out and play. That's the bottom line. Get out there and play.
We're such a tiny community. It literally only helps us to be friendly towards each other.
Right.
There's no reason to be like, well, Black Tiger, green shirts, a tiger, ugly. No one. We're here for each other. We're not. And actually, I joked when you started the talking about Black Tiger. You said, "Oh, we're going to talk about the Black Tiger game day." I said, "Oh no, we're not going to just talk shit. Hold on, because quite frankly, we love them."
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, we do.
It's again silly not to promote them. That we've partnered with them so many times, and they welcomed us so with such open arms. Absolutely, I'm going to. So and what a wonderful segue I think that is into what has been going on and what's going to be going on, what upcoming games, things like that. We'll save ours for last because I think that makes more sense.
All right, Greg, ring that bell. I'm talking Wasteland 14. That's what I'm.
Go ahead, keep going.
Time. Wasteland 14 by our good friends at Mind Game Productions, MGP. Mac, you're my favorite. November 19th. It is a Fallout Airsoft LARP, perk cards, economy, heavy role play. It is an excellent Airsoft experience. If you are a Milsim guy, you should attend this event once to give you perspective on your sport. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. There's politics to it. Alliances to be made. It's a very interesting game. Any beginners and long timers would enjoy this, whether they come every year or once. It's worth it. Mini Milsim 4.5 Summer Strike by my man Matt Boyle at Wasteland Ops in Bellevue, Florida, August 27th. What is this event? It is an introductory style Milsim event. That is the best way to describe the Mini Milsim series. They're awesome. They're fun. They're pretty tight-knit, I would say, community-wise. Can't beat it. Also, the price point for a Milsim, can't beat it. $50. $50 to put your toe in the water. Oh, and backtracking, Wasteland is $45. Not bad either. 1 day event for Wasteland, 1 day event for Mini Milsim. Mini Milsim 4.5. They've opened up camping the day before, so look for that.
So real quick, Wasteland 14, Mind Game Production, guys. Look up Mind Game Productions either on the web, mindgameproductions.com, or on Facebook. Go to Mind Game Productions. Either one of those that'll give you the link to 14. I didn't see anything on 14 yet. I don't know if it's actually published on Mac's page yet or not. And as far as the Mini Milsim goes, you should be able to get that.
Yeah, if you follow, it's posted in the Wasteland Up Facebook page. They have a link to their ticket pricing on the Facebook page for Wasteland. People have asked, Mac has answered, and then if I'm not mistaken, the MGP Mind Game Production websites, I think they've even posted maybe the players pack, but don't quote me on that. Not to throw Mac under the bus. But yeah, sorry about that.
And Wiener, I appreciate it. And we would. Two things. I hate asking somebody to pay for something that I'm going to make them pay for later. So I hate that. That's a thing inside of me. It makes me feel weird. So setting up a GoFundMe for Connex containers. And number two, we actually can't put Connex containers on our field as of yet. But if and when we have the opportunity to do so, or we actually migrate and jump to a new field, oh, believe me, we will have them. We will be building a city.
Yes. Back to events. Black Dragon Siege, Twin Dragons by Range Custom Airsoft, RC Ron. Again at Wasteland Ops in Bellevue. It is a three-way Milsim, tan versus green, and then a TFR in the middle to make things far less kosher than they should be. We went last year. We're going this year. Super worth going to. $65 for a whole lot of different Milsim goodness. September 30th to August 1st.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, and if I could just for Florida especially, the terrain is really where you want to play.
It's so unique. Yeah,
it's not. If you've only really ever played in Florida, especially South Florida, then you've never played anything like this before. South Florida is primarily all flat. Maybe a slight elevation, This is, I'm talking hills you can roll down type thing. Like it's really like steep hills to climb, It goes from open valleys to wooded flat. It's really truly and it's an awesome layout. It really is. And Black Dragon Legion is looking to um, take home the win for a second time. You guys were unable to capture the CO, and I don't think it'll happen again. I think we'll take it home, take the win home again.
The push at the end was good, but safe to say, both myself and Gasket were the last line bodyguards for those two. You guys had no chance. Sorry. Moving on to events out of state, but still very relative to the Florida airsoft community. Let us talk about Operation Series Viking, organized by Third Coast Airsoft, by the renowned Sal himself. Love that man. This is in Perry, Georgia. It's not too far of a run for you guys to go to. A lot of Florida boys go to it. It is a bucket list AO to go to. Operation Series Viking at the Guardian Center. It is a city fight. Multi-story buildings, blown out car garages, an AC-130, wooded terrain, a simulated subway system. If you play airsoft on the southeastern seaboard or on the eastern seaboard, bucket list AO, you gotta go to it. It's sensational. Technicals. When we went, they had a Black Hawk, right? Just flying up yonder.
Was it a Black Hawk? I'm trying to remember now. I don't remember what was in the air, but yeah, they did. They had a large bird in the air.
Oh yeah.
And we were in communication with it, which was really cool. CO CO was on it. We're actually going to be going. DEO will be running out there. We'll be running. We're going to be running actually with K-Bar. So this is the very first time for myself be running on the tan side, and it should be something a little bit different because I'm getting the opportunity to play against. Not only am I playing against my own son, which is kind of neat, but I'm getting the chance to play against Dark Horse 6. And I'm actually really looking forward to that. Those guys put up a great fight, and I'm looking forward to playing against them.
And just seeing her, I mean, because really, these events, these national level events, it's really just a social substrate to see your buddy and to talk shit. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
So excited for that. Dates are September 16th through the 18th. The price is $270, which is, quite frankly, for who's organizing the event, what it is, where it is, completely worth it. You'll get your dollar's worth, penny for penny.
Yeah, no, if you've played other Milsim events and you haven't been there before, then this is a completely different experience. Also,
yeah,
the amount of not just the amount of buildings, the quality of buildings, the quality of the gameplay, the game itself, all of it, absolutely fantastic.
Oh my god!
He said September. He said September, Wiener.
He said September. Stop gaslighting me, Wiener. Stop gaslighting me, huh? But when we went, our spawn point was an AMRAP. Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Second to last, Operation Deliverance by our friends ATE Airsoft. This is at Big Indian Paintball in Perry, Georgia. Same area as not same AO, same general area as Operation Series Viking. Awesome location. They have multiple towns. They have a couple guard towers on a nice plot of land. Primitive camping is available, run by some of the most experienced people in the industry and that we know. I mean, you can't beat it. It's going to be a 3-day event. $115, can't beat
it. Camping is available. Primitive camping is available. And actually, you can get out on the field the night before. Friday, if you show up early Friday and Wiener, go ahead, feel free to jump in. You guys can get out on the field. So, 115. And it looks like ticket sites should be up by this weekend. So you guys will be able to start getting your tickets this weekend.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. All events we've talked about so far have ticket sales available except for Wasteland. For all the events we just talked about, you can go on any of the event organizer websites, they all have the tickets available. Shout out to them. Last, never least, and quite possibly my favorite, I'm not biased, Pew Pew Barbecue, hosted by fabulous Dead End Outfitters. Us, you big lugs. It's
there's. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you do your spiel. Go ahead. I'll jump in.
You know what? You seem so excited, sir. Let's have you take the wheel.
No. Listen, this is something we try to do annually. It really is. It's a true community event. This is one of those things we put together because we realized, we had a lot of players that were coming out, and their significant others or parents or what have you. They're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, or they know nothing about what the players are doing. They just it's a blind judgment. I think we're just out there shooting each other, which is all true. I mean, everything they think about us is actually true, but there's more to it than that. It's a lot. The bonding, the community, and all those kind of things. So when we first started doing it, it was about bringing those people out and letting them see what's happening, giving them the opportunity if they wanted to. We had some gun challenges, where they had a chance to actually shoot airsoft guns and shoot at targets and things of that nature. And if not, it's just it's a full day of play out on the field, some fun games. You're going to actually have the opportunity to call out 1v1s, 2v2s. If you've got some guys you want to play against real quick, see what you can do right out in the CQB area.
Speaking of that, I'm calling you out, Marley Brock. I've already messaged you on Facebook and challenged thee to a 1v1 light machine gun only, best 2 out of 3. Robert Jacobus, I challenge you to 1v1 shotgun only, best 2 out of 3. Grenades are allowed. Take me up. Don't be cowards. Anybody that comes to the event, real quick. Anybody that comes to the event and wants to do a call out, the staff will facilitate and arbitrate anything. But very important, it is for fun. It's for keeps, but it is not for malice. Just to put that out. Yes. Very excited.
The prize is an ego boost. That's pretty much what you get. But I can call it out. So I already win, just by default.
Wow.
My 1v1s consist of the entire field against you. That's what it is. It's my one is community versus you. So I win. That's just how it is. Listen, if I can, I'm gonna bribe people with like wings and burnt ends and stuff. So I win. Plus nobody likes that ginger.
Jesse Watts, what are your terms for the one against Papa?
So anyway, there's going to be games in the parking lot as well for the family members that don't want to that are going to be there for the days. But we'll have cornhole and horseshoes and things of that nature. We're also going to have there's going to be games and prizes and raffles and all of that as well. It looks like we're actually going to have a mobile media center out there, so we're going to have music playing, things like that. Very much thanks to Rattler's Rage Orlando. He's going to be bringing that out. And it should be a fantastic time. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. I mean, the whole idea of this, especially this one. I mean, airsoft is supposed to be fun anyway, but in the end, this is meant to be the most fun. Barbecue is gonna be out there. May have some surprise stuff, but definitely gonna have some of the things I normally bring out. I don't think I'm gonna do any hot dogs or hamburgers. I think it's just gonna all be straight up barbecue. So we're gonna have a good time. I think I'm looking forward to having everybody come on out. This is one of my favorite events of the year. Is the PB barbecue. It gives us all a chance to get out there, just hang out and have a good time. And with that in mind,
sorry, I'm just getting your 1v1 set up.
Oh, are you now?
With that in mind, talking more about the Pew Pew barbecue, and then we can go on to explain what things like BBQ stand for.
Sure. Just in case.
Just in case. Also, too, we are going. Myself and Gasket are going to be hosting games in between our downtime. We're going to be doing Kill Confirm, Trouble is Terrancetown. I am planning on getting a bomb ready for Search and Destroy. We're going to probably do an Attack Defend game, hopefully an Alamo game to make up for that one guy's birthday. And if all shows up, but yeah, I mean, there's still going to be airsoft, but this is really as wide of a spread for everybody as Dead and Outfitters can provide, I would say. So,
and real quick, CRISPR. This is actually our community patch wall. So when people come in, if they come in, they have a patch they want to just donate onto the patch wall. They throw it up there. My personal patch wall is the one that's upstairs, and that actually has all of the ones that have been given to me personally from people out at events and things like that, such as your Die Mad Salty patch. No, I definitely still have it though. I would never get rid of that.
Top said, just wanted to know if it will be ready for Viking. It would be nice. Huh?
You know what? I sold it. That's all there is to it. I sold it. You didn't want it anymore, so I got rid of it. So, yes, of course it'll be ready. All right. So you mentioned things like what BBQ stands for. BBQ is obviously for barbecue. But in airsoft, you hear us say a lot of things. AEG, HPA, GBBR. A lot of these terms. Some people don't recognize them. So these are some of the stuff that I think we wanted to go over this time. Talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about other terminologies, what they mean, and why you should know them. Why it's important to be aware of them. So $1,500 refund. No. That money's been spent, baby. That's a used gun anyway.
Implying your gun was worth $1,500,
right? So we'll start. I mean, we'll start with the simple ones. The AEG. You may have heard AEG. You may have heard. In reference to guns, AEG stands for automatic electric gun, and all that is that's the majority of airsoft is dominated by automatic electric guns. It's the electric airsoft gun. Takes a battery, runs a motor spins a gear train, pulls a piston, etc. That's what the majority of airsoft guns are as far as rifles go. So when somebody says AEG, that's what they're referring to as an automatic electric gun. If that's the kind of gun you have, then that's what you have. You have an AEG. The HPA is another classification of gun. It's another type. It's another propulsion type. That's high pressure air. High pressure air can be provided in multiple ways, but the most common way is seeing a gun where it has a tank line and runs back to a tank that holds a certain cubic inch of compressed air. It usually it's either an electro-pneumatic or a mechanical pneumatic engine inside of it, and that's what you pull the trigger, it fills with air and throws the BB out. That is an HPA, high pressure air gun. We went over a little bit about the differences between those, and maybe in future episodes we'll go a little bit more in depth which one may or may not be better and how to consider them and when buying them. So those are probably two of the most common ones you've heard us say, AG, HPA. And by the way, guys, you guys that are commenting in there, definitely please throw some out there if we miss anything as we go over some of these. If you feel like there's either a term, an acronym, anything like that might be there that we missed. So definitely let us know. GBBR is another, or GBB. Let's start with that. GBB stands for gas blowback. Gas blowback is usually it's used. The propellant is usually either green gas or can be propane, and is not considered CO2. When you refer to a gas blowback or a GBB gun, it's not a CO2 gun. There's gas blowback pistols and gas blowback rifles. GBBR obviously stands for gas blowback rifle, and it's the magazines themselves are filled with green gas or propane or red gas or black gas, depending on where you are, and that is what's used to propel the BB. So when you hear someone say GBB or GBVR, that's what you're looking at. And those are the primary classifications for acronyms for guns. What do we got?
Hey, let's bring up an. Hey, Greg, what's an AEP or an AES?
An AEP is an automatic electric pistol. It's they're seldom found, but also happens to be one of my favorite guns.
Yes.
It actually is. The Scorpion is an AEP, terrible gun, and absolutely my favorite. I love the gun. It's the design, and they do make a Scorpion gas blowback as well. But an AEP, um, they're fun. They're very lightweight. As of late, they come with they come with lipo batteries, but they're designed to look just like their gas blowback counterparts, except yeah, thank you, Mo. They're designed to look like their gas blowback counterparts, except they run by electric. So many problems with that, and that's something we'll get into in the future as well. But AEP does stand for automatic electric pistol. Um, and AES is what?
All electric shotgun. And there is technically two, but really one currently out in the market right now, and that is the Tokyo Marui AA12 and then the Tokyo Marui SGR12. But SEMA is coming out with the CM.102 for the American market. They've licensed it out to EMG. Seldom used. Quite frankly, outside of 80 feet, it's not that accurate. But I thought I'd bring up an acronym. So,
so you've got those are your descriptions of guns. When you hear somebody talking about those, that's what you've got. Same thing the whole time. Reloads, no high caps.
Greg, do you accept? Everybody, hold on. We're in a segue. We're hitting a bridge here, Greg.
Do I accept? Under normal circumstances, yes, I do believe I do. With the exception of this is not really an event I'm playing. It's not really an event I'm playing. If I get the time to do so, I will. But to be honest with you, to be the host and the cook for 130 people, not sure I can do it this time.
There is your answer. And as
Face out pistols draw.
One draw.
I don't even know if I have a pistol that'll work.
And as one arbitrating the 1v1 callouts, that's as good as it gets. So
I'll see what I can do to make it happen. I promise. I really do. I might be able to get out there and get it.
Crack some bones.
So it would only be fair that I do, because I think part of the callouts that we're having at the event are no turn downs. I mean, you got to admit that you turned it down, that you were scared. So
just start the icebreaker game with that.
you and me, and then when we die, icebreaker. So all right. So we what else we got? So
MED.
So you've got there's things. So moving on with some of the acronyms, MED is a minimum engagement distance. You see, I've actually had some people send me messages about med, and they're referring to medics, and I have no idea what they're talking about, because MED stands for minimum engagement distance. Minimum engagement distance being, depending on how your gun shoots, what is the range in which you're legally allowed to shoot a target. And that does lead us into something else. We're not just talking about acronyms. We're also talking about points of knowledge. So understanding your MED comes from actually understanding what your gun chrono is at. Your gun should be fired through a chronograph, whether your own personal or one on the field. On our field, we chrono every single gun. And to chronograph a gun means to see how many feet per second it's shooting. There's two ways of measuring that. There is feet per second, FPS, or there's a joule rating, which is an energy rating. Joule rating is a more accurate reading that will allow you to know your full potential energy, whereas FPS shows how fast the BB was traveling as it passed through the chronograph. When you do chrono your gun, and you find out what your joules are, what your energy is, that will actually help you understand what classification you are, and then as such, what your minimum engagement distance is. A lot of talking. All right. Yeah, assembly area. Yep, CRISPR. So if you're ever at a milsim or even at some fields and somebody says, get to the AA or get to the alpha alpha, you may hear it like that. That's your assembly area. That's where you would gather. Sometimes at a day game, your assembly area can be considered the parking lot, an area of the parking lot where you would gather to get your next debrief, to understand what the game is going to be. I know where your jewels are too, Mo.
Uh,
So that's oops, damn it. Sorry guys, I
lost his train of thought because he's old.
nope. Oops. No, I'm just trying to make sure. There we go. Oh no, not that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I'm following the. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I'm following the comments on all pages. So, I think I'm following them all. So
the ones on Facebook. I don't know if you.
Where are we at? What I miss? So Jules MED.
VIP because it comes.
No. I mean, blind. Yeah. So you're gonna go to field. People are gonna tell you that there's terms for real world. In most mil sims, you're gonna hear blind man, real world, Mississippi. Those are some very common ones. Blind man is probably the most common across the board, and that's going to be if someone on the field is missing their eye pro for some reason. If their eye protection has come off, and eye pro, I probably should have said eye protection. If their eye pro is off while on a live field, you're going to call a blind man, and depending on what the field rules are, is how you'll react to that. But blind man is another one. Mississippi or real world both usually represent a real world emergency, which could be a number of things: somebody getting actually hurt, or there being some kind of wildlife on the field, or anything of the sort. But those two will also be a part of it. So other pieces of information that you'll need: mid cap and high cap. You've got those are your mag. Well, there's mid cap, high cap, low cap, and real cap. To be honest with you, so those are all the different magazine types you get.
Oh, real cap. Oh, there's a name I haven't heard.
I don't even know if they make real caps anymore, but it is something. So your high caps are usually magazines that have to be wound. You fill them well up with BBs, you wind them, and they go up. And generally speaking, are not allowed at milsim events. Mid caps are pressurized spring, usually hold anywhere between 120 250 rounds, depending on the type of gun. Your low cap is usually something that holds like 30 to 60, and again, it's a pressurized spring. And then your real cap, depending on your gun, your real cap will be exactly that. Whatever the gun is designed for will hold that many rounds. So some guns are designed to hold 15 rounds. That's all that mag will hold. So that's what you got. Steve Tom, missed we were talking about you, baby. Talking about so it's okay. We accept your lateness. You're usually here on time, but we'll take it. I know you were working.
More bad. Dark Horse 6 is bad. You're gonna get creamed by K-Bar. Grizzly's gonna overfill their gas tank on your bodies. Boo. Boo. Shout out to Laz of Tryhards. I hope they bump
Yep.
I love you, Steve.
And Steve, by the way, we're talking about, I don't know if you heard, we're talking about, bits of information that new airsofters need to understand. Anything from acronyms, things like that, to, base information. What should you know? What's important to know if you hear someone talking about it, so you don't get lost in the conversation. Thank you, Kringle. Appreciate that. He whispered from across the room, they should know what a D-hop is. Everybody should know what a D-hop is, yes. And come to the store and I'll tell you. I'm terrible at that part. I'm terrible at promotion. I'm going to throw that out. So yeah, but I mean, they're not wrong. Hop up. That's one right there. It's amazing to me how many don't know what hop up is. Hop up on the gun. Somebody says check your hop up. For most guns, you're going to find your hop up right. Especially on your AEGs, your automatic electric guns. You're going to find your hop up right inside your ejection port. So you pull your charging handle back. Ejection port's right there, and it's either going to be a rear rotary or a triple rotor for most of them. AKs have a slide usually, things like that. And you're going to use your hop up unit to apply hop to your BB, which is top pressure on the BB, which creates backspin and in turn creates a Magnus effect, which carries the BB flat through the air.
Greg, what is the Magnus effect?
Magnus effect is as the BB spins, the faster the BB spins, more air over, more air under, and actually creates a pocket of air as it flies through. So otherwise, you'd be throwing a BB flat. It would look like a knuckleball in baseball, and it would just wobble all over the place. Dysfunctional hop up. We in physics class. We are not in physics class. I don't know why Toucan decided to do that. So that's hop up. That's what hop up is. The what else? I don't know. Precocking is when your piston is held to the rear prior to you pulling the trigger. Nowadays, with certain motors, things like that, it's not even really necessary. You get such a fast response time from even stock guns. Not really necessary.
You know what? We could talk about a really technical one: AOE, area of engagement.
Angle of engagement, you mean?
Angle of engagement, yeah.
It's all right. Well, angle of engagement is actually almost I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not something that actually needs to be adjusted too much anymore.
People still bring it up, though.
Yeah, they do. And angle of engagement, AOE, angle of engagement is just where the sector gear hits the pickup tooth on your piston. That's really all it is. It nowadays they make pistons and sector gears so precise that it really takes no adjustment anymore at all. There's no need to grind down the teeth on your sector gear. No need to add more, add sorbo pads to the end of your piston, things like that. Yeah, we used to grind down some of the gears of the piston. Yeah, it's like these are not, a lot of these things aren't necessary anymore. Just to get your sector gear to swipe in the right place. It's not necessary anymore. There are some things you can do, but it's really not that necessary. What else we got? I mean, thanks for helping, guys. Gear grinded. Yeah.
I was just looking at that. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Oh man.
So I mean, and again, it's not like we said before. It's not just about the acronyms and things like that. It really is. It's some more base knowledge that you need to have. And when guys come in, look, base knowledge. There you go. You're getting ready to get into the sport. You're ready to buy something. The gun is not the cost. You come in, get the gun. That's all well and good. There's so much more to buy, so much more to do. Wow, people still use sore posts. No,
man, shut up, Steve. Like you're better than us just because you.
BB weight importance. There. Yeah. Thank you, CRISPR. The difference between there is, for the most part in airsoft, you have between a 0.2 and a 0.5 gram BB, and don't wear sweaters in Florida in summer. Yeah. That should be base information too. There are 0.12. They do make 0.12s. We don't allow them on our field. Most fields don't allow them either. They're all but hollow. They will shatter on impact, and they will actually do more harm than good to your gun. Even 0.2s, if you're using anything purchased, at least from my store or any reputable airsoft location, your gun shouldn't be using 0.2s. It's just not necessary anymore. They're too light. They leave too much residue. You're going to want a heavier weight. Why have a heavier weight? A couple of reasons. Heavier weight equals a heavier impact. If you're afraid somebody's not going to feel their hit them with a heavier BB. Even at a slower velocity, they're still going to feel it more. But the heavier the BB, the less susceptible to turbulence it is. So as you shoot that round and it travels through the air, you add enough hop to it, it will not be so affected by air turbulence, by coming under the hop up mechanism. It's not going to be affected by those things nearly as much. But if your gun doesn't shoot well enough, it's not going to carry that BB any kind of distance if it weighs too much. So you need to understand how your gun works, what your gameplay is, what the range you're looking for is, and balance that with the weight of BB. So there is definitely that difference. What is a tracer unit, you ask? In Airsoft, we do have tracer units as well. Since we're talking about BBs, tracer units require tracer BBs in order to actually function. Tracer unit will lights up an LED. Oh God! Tracer unit lights up an LED, which in turn lights up the BB as it travels past and out the barrel, and allows you to have an actual tracer around that glows day and night. It'll glow, and you'll be able to follow it better. You'll be able to trace the round better. Heavier BBs better dealing with elements like wind and rain. Yeah, absolutely. So they're not, like I said, they're not so susceptible to the elements, to any of that. And again, the higher rate of spin on your Magnus, on your BB rather, the higher Magnus, the less susceptible it is to wind as well. So if you can spin a heavy BB very fast, there's less chance of it being affected by wind. So seeing where your BB goes, but also allowing the enemy to see where you're shooting from. Well, I guess the goal from that is, CRISPR, is to hit them the first time, so you don't have to shoot an actual a stream of lasers at them so they can track you. But say again. The weight of the BB. Does the weight of the BB change the FPS? The weight of the BB changes the FPS. It does not change joules. So when we said before, joules are the potential energy of the BB. FPS is how fast it's actually traveling when it crosses the eye of the chrono. So if you take a 0.2 gram BB and you shoot it through a chrono and it's shooting 400 feet per second, and it's also shooting, which is not, I'm about to say not 100% accurate, but it's also shooting 1.55 joules. I know that's not accurate, but we're using it as an example. If you go from a 0.2 to a 0.3 gram BB, you'll drop down to about 300 FPS.
Oh,
you'll still be at 1.55 joules. So I know that people have a hard time figuring that one out, but it's still the potential energy. Yeah, but I mean, it depends. Yeah. I ran tracers at the prison event, and how I hated using it. Gave my position every time. No wonder I don't run tracers. Actually, there's some people I've seen some neat things. They try to mimic how tracers are used in real world scenarios, and they actually mix their tracers in like a 1-to-4 ratio or 1-to-5 ratio into their standard BB. They're the same weight, so they're going to fire the same. You just don't get a consistent shot of every round as a tracer. Yeah, change the way to be, watch them fly all over the place. What else? What else we got? Like base knowledge to know.
you covered most of it, I think.
You know what? Batteries, nickel metal hydride, NiMH versus lithium polymer versus lithium ion. Those are the main batteries that we tend to use in airsoft. nickel metal hydride are all but phased out at this point. You know, there still are some guns that come with them. Some people are buying them, but they're fewer and further between. What's up, Tim? How you doing, buddy?
Hey.
And you know, lithium ion, lithium polymer, so lipo or Lion, those there are more primarily used. 11174, those are the ratings for lithium batteries. So you've got 111 or 74 for lithium polymer, lithium ion. The voltage on your gun, so 11.1 volts is how fast it will spin your motor. So how much energy you are emitting, and the amperage, so 3,000 amps or 3 milliamps or sorry, 3 amps or 3,000 milliamps. Um, that is how much of that energy exists in that battery.
We should
So,
really have the next topic be about batteries, because we could talk about batteries for
yeah, we really could.
we really could.
So I load my first 8 to 10 with red tracers, and then the rest green. That way, when I get down to the last 8, oh, okay, there you go. I like that. That's a good tip.
Very solid tip.
Yeah, there's a high torque versus high speed. Okay, and that, oh my god, that's one I could do. I can do several on. Your motors again nowadays versus 5 years ago, 6 years ago. High torque versus high speed motors. You have to learn to balance your motor. I mean, there is an actual difference. A high torque motor, although high torque motor might run 30,000 RPMs, 22,000 RPMs. Standard brushed high torque motor is roughly about 22,000 RPMs at its max. That's versus when you see a motor that says 45,000 RPMs, that's a high speed motor. Are they interchangeable? Not in the same gun, generally speaking. You're not going to get the same response from them. You're gonna depending on how the gun is, you're going to drain energy, etc. And we will definitely bring that up. When lipos first came out and motors were starting to get a little better, things like that, guys used to just get lipos to the biggest lipo they could possibly find, and that'll solve the problem of that motor not spinning. Doesn't exactly work that way, guys. We'll definitely have an entire episode on this, but it's more about making the gun work efficiently first, and then adding as much energy as it can take. Gear ratios, yeah, that one. Standard gear ratios, yeah, 16 or 18 to 1. The standard gear ratios coming from the factory. That's a good balance in between. And know that, for base knowledge, you've got high speed gear ratios, you got high torque gear ratios, and each one will do. I mean, you can make a high torque ratio gear set perform exactly the same as a high speed ratio gear set, depending on what motor you put in it, and vice versa. That's just how that works. There's reasons for both. Nozzles, components of the gun. There's so many, as we can go more in depth, more detail. This really was an idea for base. Lucas, thank you. LMG, HMG, DMR,
LMG.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So when we were talking about minimum engagement distances, MED, you're absolutely right. There's SMG, which is a submachine gun. An SMG, I mean, you'll hear that submachine gun. Submachine guns run pistol caliber mags and have limited engagement. Like they're usually zero minimum engagement. You're out later. The LMGs is a light machine gun, and there is a difference between a light machine gun and a heavy machine gun. Some of you that were at the field a week and a half ago, saw what a heavy machine gun actually looks like. Airsoft has very, very few heavy machine guns.
If I can be super fucking lame and nerdy for a moment, sir, it is technically a medium machine gun. It is in the 30 caliber round range. It's real. It's a real range. We are real classifications of machine guns. I will not be silent.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Well, when they reproduce the 50 cal, then we'll talk about the HMGs. And DMR is DMR SPR, designated marksman rifle, special purpose rifle. SPRs can vary, and in an airsoft,
wildly.
they're tough. I would, if you're building an SPR, I would be very careful. Depending on the milsims you go, check ahead of time, make sure it's used for what it can be used for.
I would always say to people that are trying to build an SPR, just call it an SPR, but build it like a DMR. I mean, you're getting into like very technical, like, oh, the barrel length is this, I'm going to use that optic. Just because most game organizers, most event organizers, most national event organizers, they don't care about SPRs. They want to talk about like rare classifications. No one gives a crap about SPRs because it's not as specific as a DMR. Just build a DMR, people. Honestly.
We got, and then one of the last, the DMR designated. The difference between them generally, I mean, they're almost interchangeable. In airsoft, DMRs tend to be 762 or 308. They tend to be higher powered. But I've seen SPRs that were built 5.56 and had to run rifleman class. 5.56 has to be run. So SPR is not necessarily indicative of DMR, but a DMR is an SPR.
CRISPR's comment tickles my soul.
Okay. I mean, again, if anybody has questions or guys you want to throw it out there, I'm looking around the store to try to see if there's anything that I actually missed. That's true base knowledge that people need to know. And I definitely appreciate the input. Spawn, I guess, maybe, I don't know, spawn points, things like that. Understanding what that is, I think everybody would know, but that's generally where you start from and where you revive from if you're killed on the field. That's it's pretty important to know. Full Seal iPro. Thank you, Mo. Look at you leading up then. Full Seal iPro. Any iPro that you wear on an airsoft field must be full seal. I don't think there's any fields that don't require full seal. And they must be ANSI rated. They have to actually be Z rated. So they got to be ballistic for all intents and purposes, and they have to touch the skin all the way around, whether it's with a gasket seal or the goggles themselves. Has to touch all the way around. That way a BB can't get back in underneath. And even if it does, it's been slowed down so much it doesn't cause any harm. That's that again. Very, very, very important. Base knowledge. Full Seal iPro is incredibly important. Interesting info on Full Seal iPro from our friends in the Midwest.
Oh, yeah. Black Ops in Bristol, Will just made a public post about their take on gaskets for iPros. Full Seal.
Like Oakley's and stuff?
Yeah, so they're taking the Milsim West route. We
got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
The ANZI rating is still mandatory, but the gasket isn't. So the gasket isn't designed. So Will and his guys have just been out there shooting the shit out of their rubber gaskets, and they're like, you know what? It wouldn't make a difference anyways. We're gonna follow what a national level event producer did. It must be ANZI rated, but it does not have to be a full seal. What they're So basically, and CRISPR's saying it here. Basically, more important glasses to fit the face than having a gasket. Which, I mean, I don't want to say anything because I follow what you want, but it's interesting, and he's not the only one doing it. So, really,
I would have to be, and we only have a minute and a half, or a minute now. I would have to be convinced of it for me to allow it on the field.
Oh yeah,
any type of protection is what I'm there for. So, guys, we do got 1 minute left. I want to thank and Mac just joined. Where was he when we were talking about his event? Mac, thanks for joining, guys. Everybody, I saw a bunch of people join before. I really appreciate you guys joining, watching us, listening to us ramble on. Thank you very much. If you're in the area this Saturday, obviously Pew Pew Barbecue. 8 a.m. gates open. Come on out. Would love to have everybody out there. Going to be a great day. Should be a lot of fun. Lots going on. Music, food, everything, and airsoft.
And
So-
airsoft. Hold up. Don't forget the airsoft. Heaven forbid I have to go out and not have airsoft happen.
Christopher, thank you so much for jumping in, pal. And honestly, we love being able to bring this out there. And your involvement, everybody's involvement. Steve, love seeing you on. Everybody, thanks for coming on. Just really being able to give it all to us. I love you guys, all you guys so much. Thank you again for all the support. And if you're watching this on YouTube, how do you say it? Mash the like, hit the bell, do the stuff, whatever.
Subscribe button, hit the
All
bell.
that dumb junk, whatever. Yeah, go ahead and do it if you can. It doesn't matter either way. Share it with someone who needs to see it. That's all I say. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon, and we're out.